Hello, and thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to be showing you this viral MAPO Tofu Udon noodle recipe that I've been seeing all over, at least Instagram, and I really wanted to make it. So we are starting out with some mushrooms that they were going to go bad soon, so I needed to get rid of those. This is not a necessary part of the recipe. I needed to get rid of them. So we're taking some mushrooms and I'm going to be cutting them up very fine, at least as fine as I can get them, because this MAPO tofu situation, it's like the tofu part's very crumbly and very small pieces. So I'm just trying to get the mushrooms as small as I can, as small as possible, and get that going before I even start anything else, because I want them to be cooked down. You know how they produce moisture sometimes? I want them cooked down. So I'm using avocado oil in a nonstick pan. Very optional, microplastics and whatnot. But I'm putting I'm putting the mushrooms in there, and we have our tofu. I already did this recipe once, so half and half of this extra firm tofu I have and this silken tofu. We're going to start with the extra firm tofu first. It was in the freezer, so the texture is a little bit different than if you were to just bring it home from the store, just straight like that. I had it in the freezer and then it thawed, and here we are with this. So our mushrooms have cooked down pretty nicely. I'm going to start crumbling in my tofu, and I'm crumbling it super small, super fine as I can get them. And we're going to be breaking it up even more in the pan. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be just do what you can. It'll come together as the recipe starts to develop. So crumble in your tofu. I noticed that this is very filling. So half the box of tofu is plenty. But if you want to add more, feel free. If you want to add less, feel free. This is very customizable in that regard. So we're going to be cooking this down. I want it to get browned, like you see it's starting to do there. I'm breaking it up as I move it around in the pan, and I want it to get nice and browned and nice and toasted, so that the texture, the texture just comes together. So I'm using these Fortune udon noodles that I found. I could not, for the life of me, in my grocery store find just out and about udon noodles. Is that a thing? That has to be a thing, right? But mine were in the package, and I was just going to use the little seasoning packet that they had, but I saw that it had bonito flakes or fish flakes in the seasoning packet. So you ain't gonna catch me slipping, not today. So I'm going to just be seasoning this how I want to season it. So I'm using some garlic powder. You know how we do. Garlic powder, onion powder. I'm sure I add paprika in there. Here's some black pepper. And you can actually customize the seasoning mixed as you wish. All the ingredients are going to be in the description, so don't worry about that. And then I added some Slappy Mama, because why not? And then some soy sauce, just a little bit, nothing too crazy. This is going to be basically like the salt of our dish, so season to your liking, but just know that this is going to be this is where the salt of our dish is going to come from. So don't overdo it, but don't underdo it. You know what I mean? You get it. So here's our udon noodles in our little package. It said to heat them up. Basically, it said in the microwave, but I didn't want to do it in the microwave. So I put it in I put it in this bowl, and I'm just adding some hot water from my little tea kettle in there. And I'm going to cover it with a plate and let that sit to the side while I work on my sauce. So here is where the silken tofu comes into play. We're going to take our silken tofu, which this is the first time that I've ever used silken tofu, and I really like it. I can see why people use it for sauces, because it has such a silky texture. Silken tofu has a very silken texture. Who would have thought? So we're adding that half the package, like I said, to the mix. I'm adding some lemon juice. I didn't have fresh lemons. I was not prepared, and I didn't have fresh garlic either. So if you have both of those things, I bet it will taste even better. But this is what we're working with at the moment. I'm adding some pepper and some salt. And I'm also going to be adding some nutritional yeast. And we're just going to add those things right in there and get that blended. I'm using an immersion blender. You can use an actual blender if you so choose. Up to you, babes. This is your world. We're just living in it. And I'm getting it nice. You see how silky and smooth that's getting? It's very much giving sauce. Like, this is a legit sauce. Ugh, so good. I need to use this more often, for sure. Silken tofu specifically. It was such a dream. It was so easy to use. So there is that. This is cold. The sauce is cold. The tofu and the noodles are hot. Keep that in mind. It works. It works. It's so good. So I'm just going to, for plating reasons, I'm just going to move my little udon noodles to the side and add in my tofu. You see how it looks very chickeny, dare I say. It gives meat. It looks like meat. It's not, but it looks like it. It was really good. Adding that to the bowl. There's a lot of tofu. As you can see, that's what half the package gives you. Keep that in mind. So we're adding that. Then we're going to add our sauce. She's thick. If you want it a little thinner than that, add more lemon juice. But this works. She's not too thick. Is there such a thing? I don't know. But she's not too thick. She's actually perfect. And I cut up some green onions. Sorry. I cut up some green onions way earlier to add that. That's fresh. Give me some credit for that. And then here is some spicy chili crisp. That is, in my humble opinion, not spicy at all. But I do think my heat tolerance has gone way up in recent times. So there is the bowl. It looks so good. It looks so creamy and so just, gosh. I also put this, it's very filling. So the first time I did this, I had to eat only half and put it in the fridge, and then I heated it up, and even reheated, it still tasted so good. The sauce didn't separate. It didn't get weird. It didn't do what, sometimes cold sauces that are heated up do. So keep that in mind. Here I am in all my scarf glory with my little plate. And I think you guys should try this recipe out. It was very easy. It was very quick. The thing that took the longest was getting the tofu to brown up. But, that didn't take much time at all. It's very simple, very easy, very creamy, just so flavorful. And I'm so glad I came across this recipe. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. I do implore you to try this. I've seen people do it with chicken. I've seen people do it. Obviously, I'm vegan, so I'm doing it with tofu. Get you a bowl. Enjoy. Love you. See you next time. Bye.